we'll discuss whatever's on your mind, and then I'll hang up when I feel like we've all heard enough. Okay, so this week I posted like a couple things on social about how I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and something about doing Landline is making me want to die, and I don't know why. And I'm realizing it has to do with needing to be a brand. Like, this started when someone asked me, "Who's your audience?" And I was like, I don't know. And this used to happen to me a lot when people would ask me questions like, what's your title? Or what kind of job do you want? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I mean, starting from age 1, I was like, I don't know. Does a fireman missionary president exist? No was the answer. And I, ever since then, have been desperately trying to figure out a way to fit in somewhere. So I, posted a few times online, just basically screaming into the phone, and that was it. And then my fiance made an animation inspired by Landline, and it far and away got the most views of anything I've ever posted. And then he started to worry that it was like throwing off the algorithm because it wasn't really on brand. But all of a sudden, like, people started following me for, like, the animation is of me shooting Mr. Rogers because I'm home alone and hypervigilant, and he comes over just to say hi, and I think he's coming on to me. It's dark. But point is that, like, it's not exactly Landline humor, and it did great, though. The world loved it. And it got a lot more views than, say, like, episode 18, which got 7. So I started spiraling out where it's like, I don't want to have to worry about stuff like that. I don't want to have to worry about, like, where I fit in which sort of algorithmic model. I don't want to have to worry about, like, hey, is this on brand enough if I want to post my fiance's animation? Like, who cares? We're all just making stuff, and it should all be fun. And when did this stop being fun? So I couldn't really figure out how I felt about this. I was mostly just yelling, like I said. And, like, I do this thing where I get very overwhelmed and I start to take my clothes off. I'm better in sobriety, but it's like the bad feelings get stuck in my clothes, so I just start to strip down. So it was a rough week. So I'm going to tell a quick story about how this kind of all came to a head today, actually. And I just realized how I'm sitting. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Mom. And I feel much more at peace about this whole I don't really fit in anywhere thing. So yesterday I was sitting on no. I have to see, and this is what's weird. I jump all over the place. I'm supposed to be getting better at having things be clippable. And, like, I just tangent in my own stories, which I guess is terrible storytelling. Anyway, I don't care. I mean, obviously I do because I'm feeling emotional. Eric, are you listening?
Yeah.
All right. My one viewer / the person who has to be here is listening, which makes me feel grounded. Okay. So yesterday I was sitting on a porch, and it was a very nice porch. It was, we'll call her my mentor. My mentor's porch, and she lives in a really nice part of Nashville. Where, like, I don't know, you realize, like, oh, this is where plantations existed. And it's gorgeous, and I'm sitting on her porch, and she's asking me about, my Gettysburg elopement to my fiance, which no one gets, and that's fine. And she says, she asks if I'm going to have a celebration when I come back to Nashville afterwards, or he and I going to have a celebration. And very excitedly, I say, yeah, at, like, this trashy bowling alley. She looks horrified. And I don't think she's judging me exactly, but she goes, that doesn't seem like you. And when she said that, I flipped out. Like, just cue total spiral. Because I realized I have no idea what is supposed to, what feels like me. And I was the one that came up with the bowling alley idea. I also was the one that came up with eloping in Gettysburg because I thought, like, I don't know, my fiance is into history. Maybe that'll be fun for him. And I want to have the dude I'm marrying actually want to attend the wedding. And then the bowling alley, I was just thought, like, oh, it'll be fun. But all of a sudden, when you're getting married, it's like you have such high stakes branding. Like, what kind of person are you? What kind of quality woman are you? How glamorous are you? This is your one day. It's your one day. And I started to freak out because it was like, well, I don't know what I'm like because I enjoy going to the Ritz and Roadhouses. Like, I once asked ChatGPT what kind of Muppet, like which Muppet I was, and it told me I was Lady Rizzo the Great because I was equal parts Miss Piggy, Rizzo the Rat, and Gonzo the Great. That's not a character. And I feel like my whole life I've been trying to fit into something, and the problem is I can fit in everywhere, which means I fit in nowhere. And I don't really know what Inga is. So when we circle back to how I was spiraling out about Landline, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I just want it to be a place where people feel less alone and laugh. And I don't know, it can also be serious though, because like all of these things are what make being alive worth it. And really what I realized is I want a Muppets boarding house, like the OG films in like the 70s and 80s. So for all you youngsters, which I know there are so many of you watching right now, there were these like really good Muppet movies back in like the 70s and 80s, where all the Muppets always lived in a house together, like all of them. Like it wasn't a commune exactly, but it was almost like a halfway house. I like to think that they're all in recovery. And everyone had their own vibe, like Miss Piggy's fancy. Kermit's just trying to make sure everyone's getting along. There's a Swedish chef making sure everyone's eating. Like everyone has their own thing they're doing, but somehow it all works because it's a community. So I think what I have to accept is I am the Muppets, like all of the Muppets. And so when I'm thinking of, well, what's me, it's going to be, I'm going to want to go to a bowling alley sometimes. And I mean, I was going to like try and temper that with like, also I like to go out to like 5-star. I mean, whatever. I don't need to do that. You get it. We all know what fancy is. But there's also fun. And sometimes they're just like cheap and cheerful. And really, more than anything, having gone through my life as someone that like built a whole life and lost it all because of my own behaviors, all I really want is to be part of something. And I don't think I'm alone in that desire. Like, I wasn't made for algorithms. I was made for people. Like, I can talk to people. I don't think I trend very well because I don't know how to pick a lane. But I am learning I need to be more decisive and, or at least bold when my mentor says, oh my God, to be wanting to get married in a bowling alley, say, no, I think it is me. And understand it's not going to be everyone else's style, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited. So I went to, we'll just call it a meeting this morning with bad coffee and folding chairs. And I was sharing about this experience with all my friends. And they've seen me pull myself up from, or get pulled up from, like, the gutter. And when I got to the part of, so, you know, you guys are all invited to a bowling alley, they were so excited. Now, granted, some of them are probably homeless, so they're just excited, like maybe they'll be in a place with food. But most of them were just so excited that my fiance and I were engaged and that we're getting married. And they just were happy. I was happy. And I felt like for the first time in my life, I have a Muppets family. And it's weird, and I wouldn't necessarily choose all of them. One of them only has one working leg. Another only has one working eye. I'm sure there are many felonies in the room, but they were so happy for me that I'm okay, and that my fiance is okay, and that miracle of miracles, we found each other and can go home tonight and have toothpaste and air conditioning. So today I'm in a actually really strong place of gratitude. I'm really happy that I don't fit anywhere because I have the craziest, goofiest family I ever could have asked for. This sounds like so lame, but I don't care because it was a rough week. Like, for anyone who has tried to do anything creative and put it out there, I mean, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I would imagine it's not unique to me that you start to get like, what do people think? Oh, people like this. People don't like this. People want more of this thing or more of that thing, or what's the most popular thing? What should I be doing? And all of a sudden it goes from a fun, creative get-together to what is my worth? What type of person am I? What is my brand? What is my podcast brand? Is it a podcast? Is it a talk show? And it just what's the headline on my LinkedIn profile? All of these things where it's like, I don't know. I just want it to be what I used to do with my sisters in the basement when we would make up weather reports and borrow our neighbor's camcorder. It's just fun, no stakes fun. And you can share it because it's sometimes fun to see other people's stuff. So I'm settling back into, I might be sharing this into a void. This might be, I don't know. This might be the kind of thing I look back on and I'm like, why did I do this for a year? But today I'm really happy that it was so uncomfortable, that it was so awkward this past week, and that now I'm just kind of here, and that there's a sound guy named Eric who's willing to sit while I talk into a microphone to potentially nobody for a little while, and he's staying late so we can do this. The thing I want to, we're going to make tonight like pretty short, because I got places to be, and I also really want pizza. So as I said that, I was like, wait, I really want pizza. One thing I want to wrap up is, or bring to everyone's attention, whatever, is so Landline is going to start showing up at various places around Nashville, and it's just going to be a landline phone that we leave in whatever venue. So it's like a bar, a bookstore, whatever. And you can lift it up, you can just lift up the receiver and you'll hear me saying like, hey, you've reached the landline hotline. Leave a message after the beep and just leave a message, hang it up, and that's it. And it stays on the phone, and then I play it on the air. So we're going to make a little promo for with each place that we go to. So last week was our pilot test, and we did it at this really cool place called Dive Motel. Dive Motel is like a hipster's fever dream. It's awesome. It's one of the only affordable places that has a outdoor pool. It's like, I feel like in Nashville you can go there or you can go to Soho House. So, and one of those places you need a membership, so lots of people hit up Dive Motel. It has lots of different themed nights, like trivia nights and music and whatever. And last Friday, they had swing dancing and with a live band, which was pretty awesome. And people get like dressed up, look snazzy in this like very, vintage retro bar. And so we put the phone in there and they made a little sign that said like, hey, all the instructions that just said. And we announced it a few places just to kind of see like what would people do if a phone's sitting there on a bar throughout the night. So we're going to go ahead and see. I think I got one message from it. And this is, again, pilot project. So if any of you are thinking of doing a live call-in show and want to do something like this, you can learn from my mistakes. So let's go ahead. Let's see. Here we go.
Please. I hope the.
All right. Oh my God. Well, first of all, I'm not entirely convinced I don't know that person, which either means I know everyone in Nashville, or the two people who watch my show went there and one of those two people decided to talk into the phone. Squeaky or Lawrence, if that was you guys, thank you for participating. Also, I feel like that, that was a pretty good message to end on. I mean, it sounds like that person is like having a meltdown, but this is definitely an episode about hope. That's all we're trying to do. Just barely making it. Landline's a place where you don't have to dress up, you don't have to dress down, you just got to show up. And next week, we're going to have our 20th episode. And I'm going to be joined by everyone's favorite co-host, Claire. And Claire, I'll see if I can get her to talk about her personal life because some interesting things are happening. And, otherwise, I'm having to work a lot at my day job. So I'm not able to work on this as much, but I love coming, and I love everyone who's watching and calling in. Eric, you want to say anything in the end?
No, I'm good.
All right, guys, signing out. Thanks so much for watching.